Tonight, we want to begin with issues from the savings and loans sector. After months of struggling to reclaim 7,000 cedis from a defunct savings and loans company, Hannah has vowed never to entrust her money with any other financial institution. Hannah is one of thousands affected entrepreneurs in the recent cleanup of the savings and loans sector. Although the exercise was expected to, in the long run, build confidence in the space, the results of our checks seem otherwise. Here's Karen Dodu's report.
Lack of finance has always been one of the major barriers facing women entrepreneurs, particularly those in marginalized communities. In this regard, some financial institutions have done their best to reach out to these women as part of the financial inclusion agenda. The women at Malata Market tell me how several financial institutions usually visit them, presenting various financial products and packages to get them enrolled. Hannah is one of the numerous women who turn to a savings and loans company as a source to obtain credit. Unfortunately, this did not go as planned. For 20 years, she kept her savings with Midland Savings and Loans, one of the affected institutions in the recent cleanup. After hearing news of a customer who was maltreated simply for trying to reclaim her money in July 2018, Hannah knew it was time to go back for her money.
After a customer was manhandled at Midland, most of us market women decided to go for our monies. But it has not even been possible since then. It has been one promise after the other. Now that the Bank of Ghana has taken over, let's see how it goes.
Although her confectionery business seems steady, she blames the slow progress on the damage that happened to the financial sector due to the reforms. With over 7,000 cedis frozen, she believes she could have grown her business further.
Business has been so slow. The money I saved is profit from my business. So now, how do I save my business when my money is stuck there? I want to restock, but I don't have any extra money to do that. And I don't want to consider going for a loan because I might not be able to pay back. I just need my money to grow back my business.
It's been over a year now since Hannah first made attempts to get back her money from the defunct institution. Now, with government stepping in, a receiver has been appointed to help ensure that monies are paid back to all affected investors. Hannah is just hoping that this process by government would indeed help her to retrieve all her money.
I am hopeful that the Bank of Ghana will indeed give me back the money as it has promised.
Telephone numbers.
Stories like these of several women affected by the savings and loans cleanup and obviously having an impact on confidence there. Well, co-founder of defunct UT Bank, Prince Kofi Amwabing, the man you're seeing behind me, says has blamed the recent failure in the savings and loans sector on poor scrutiny on the regulator's part. Mr. Amwabing believes that more effort should have been put into licensing of the institutions in the first place.
I marvel at the numbers. I say how many microfinance companies were licensed, how many savings and loans companies were licensed, and what were the criteria that they go through process. The problem with Ghana is that we always throw away the process and the institutions. When I was looking for license for UT Financial Unique Trust Financial Service, the application to Bank of Ghana went to the Ministry of Interior. From Ministry of Interior, it was handed over to the BNI. And the BNI went to every place that I had been, my school, my village, to check on me before the license was issued. In recent times, because of politics and the way we play politics, it's a matter of, oh, this is my nephew, give a license, give a license, give this person a license. So licenses were issued anyhow in so much numbers to all sort of people. That is what created the problem. The people were not checked properly.
While still in the financial space, board and management of the Agricultural Development Bank, ADB Bank, have set a year strategic plan to set the bank on a path of sustained growth. This came up at the bank's annual general meeting in Accra, where it announced profit before tax of 34 million cedis in 2018, a dip from the 47 million cedis tax before profit recorded in 2017. Addressing shareholders, board chairman of ADB Bank, Alex Benasco, explained that even though profit margins have slacked, the bank is being repositioned to be more profitable. There is more in this report.
ADB Bank underperformed in the 2018 financial year after recording profit before tax of 34 million cedis in 2018 as against 47 million cedis in 2017. Board chair of the bank, Alex Benasco, at the annual general meeting explains to shareholders the banking sector cleanup, continuous shift in shareholding structure, among others, had a toll on the bank. He has been detailing some regulatory changes moving forward.
You would recall, if you were in this country, that a certain bank during that period came up to say that it had taken over ADB. If you recall, this created a number of problems, because some of our large corporate account holders and our correspondent banks were sort of surprised that such a thing could happen. And this is some turbulence which occurred, which I need to mention, that it created a little slowdown in our operations. But happily, it was quickly put behind us, and we proceeded, to do our business as usual.
Meanwhile, Alex Benasco tells Joy Business ADB is currently in the best position as a bank following recent restructuring initiatives aimed at gaining back investor confidence. According to him, a 5-year strategic plan to mobilize more deposits, book quality loans and recover non-performing loans will be shortly adhered to.
Government of Ghana, represented by Ministry of Finance, and then FIT, which represents Bank of Ghana. Yes. So FIT holds 60. And then, you saw the booklet. And then government holds something like 32. The rest, so that's about 92. So the 8 is about minority shareholders.
Now that you've secured shareholders' approval to recapitalize, what's the next move forward?
Well, to do the negotiations and all that, with GATT, and then set the terms for us to move ahead. Yes.
ADB's commitment to the agri sector stayed on track as demonstrated with exclusive participation in various government-led agriculture initiatives. The bank aims at using 50% of its lending portfolio to fund agriculture-related activities.
Tonight, ARB Apex Bank, the umbrella body for all rural and community banks in the country, saying a malicious audio message circulating on social media platforms, including WhatsApp, purporting that Bank of Ghana has plans to withdraw the licenses of some operating rural and community banks. In a release, the ARB Apex Bank said the message had no basis. Joining me in studio is my colleague Philip Namfori to update us on what exactly is in that press statement by ARB Apex Bank. So what audio recording are they referring to, Philip?
Darryl, the ARB Apex Bank alleges that an audio has been making the rounds on social media, specifically purporting to talk about the impending failure of some of the rural and community banks, as the Bank of Ghana would, and they use the word here in inverted commas, descend on RCBs. And the ARB Apex Bank is saying that this is malicious, it's not true. And if you recall, earlier on in the month of August, the Bank of Ghana released a notice telling us that come February 2020, the rural and community banks, I beg your pardon, will have up to 28th of February to meet their minimum capital requirements. Bank of Ghana increased this minimum capital requirement, and they are going to have up to 28th February 2020. And you and I discussed here, right after this was released, as to what will happen if institutions don't meet their minimum capital requirement from the Bank of Ghana.
So the last line of that press statement is saying that the Bank of Ghana has completed the cleanup exercise and will not descend on RCBs as is being maliciously circulated. You know, there were reports initially that there was going to be another round of cleanup in the rural and community banking space as well as the microfinance institutions. So what is the Bank of Ghana saying about this?
Well, so that's what I was just referring to. The release that they gave to us on the 19th of August. And they just said the rural and community banks and microfinance institutions had to comply with their minimum capital requirements stuff before or by 28th February of 2020. So it's not necessarily them telling us that we are going to clean up the rural and community banks. Or
so it's misinterpreted?
We can say so, because if a regulator says meet your minimum capital requirements by a certain date, till that time has come, it's not up to you and I to decide what the regulator will do if institutions fail. Because look at what happened with the banks. Some were taken out for obvious reasons, their corporate governance failures, etc. Others were put on this GATT program that we saw. So we can't preempt what the regulator is going to do when it comes to the rural and community banks. But all along, or all this while, they've been touting confidence, etc. So I think it behoves on us to keep calm and observe. And I think what the ARB Apex Bank is seeking to do is not to create a system of fear and panic.
Yeah, exactly the point. I'm just wondering why anybody would go out of their way to, circulate audios like that, saying what it does to people's confidence and all.
Darryl, in this season where we've had a plethora of financial institutions have their licenses revoked, collapsed, etc., however you want to call it, there's a lot of fear and panic in the system. There's not everyone who is settled and calm and believes that there's confidence back in the system. People are holding funds here and there. People are spreading all sorts of messages. I, for one, received one of these audios about one of the former heads of one of these institutions. So it's going around. People will discuss these issues. But it's up to, and you know, the ARB Apex is like a mini central bank for the rural and community bank. So it's up to them to reassure, because you know these issues are found in the hinterlands, in the rural areas, and they really affect the livelihoods of the people there. So it's something we need to keep at the back of our minds. And I don't think they want any sort of panic whatsoever to run through the system. So that's why I'm sure they're coming out with this, just to allay the fears of people. Yes, people.
Of people. Thanks very much indeed. And tonight, Philip Namfori will be coming up with the business edition of PM Express. You want to give us a tease of what is coming up tonight?
Yes. It's very interesting stuff. We've titled it Bond Battles and Blues. You know, this 20-year historic bond that we're going to issue. Love the sound
of that.
Yeah, Bond Battles and Blues, because Bloomberg reports a story. Finance Ministry comes out with a release saying it wasn't a failure or a flop. It was a shelf offering, meaning that we're going to issue certain amounts over a period of time. And we want to get our guests in here and, you know, Darryl, just break it down for everybody to understand what is really going on with this 20-year bond.
Philip is excited about tonight's show. You should watch it at 9 p.m. On this channel. We want to move on to other stories you're following for you tonight. Insurance companies in the country have been urged to meet their capital requirement before the deadline elapses to avoid revocation of their license. Speaking at the launch of the Enterprise Advantage mobile app in Accra, the Insurance Commissioner, Justice Ofori, reiterated it's time the regulator enforces the insurance laws rigorously. There is more in this report.
At the launch of the Enterprise mobile app in Accra, the CEO of the Enterprise Group, Kelly Gajekpo, reiterated the company's resolve to satisfy its customers. Mr. Gajekpo believes the Enterprise Advantage mobile app will give customers expert service at their convenience.
The Enterprise Advantage app, the only app in this our dear country that allows you to conduct insurance and pensions transactions end to end on your phone. The first reason is convenience. The Advantage app is actually a digital distribution platform. So when it comes to insurance and pensions, you can do everything from getting a quotation through purchasing, payment, and even making a claim, just from the comfort of your office or from the sofa in your home. Sitting there, you're watching TV, you're done.
The Insurance Commissioner, Justice Ofori, re-echoed the regulator's aim to clean up the insurance sector, stating that the timeline given to insurance companies to meet their capital requirements will not be reviewed. He believes the current low capital level of these insurance companies makes it difficult for them to venture into the oil and gas industry and to absorb high risk.
The oil field, the risk involved is very high, and our market hasn't got the capacity to actually take all the risk. And these are some of the reasons why we asking the insurance companies to increase their minimum capital so that they can absorb much of the risk. In addition to that, the industry has set up an oil and gas pool that actually absorbs some of the excesses. These are all attempts being made by the industry to retain much of the businesses before the leftover is sent outside. But the oil and gas is a big business, and the insurance companies in Ghana need to build bigger and larger capacities to absorb much of the risk.
He said the new requirements will safeguard the interests of insurance policyholders to boost confidence in the industry. Fred Ho's report for Joy Business.
Also tonight in the bulletin, the Forestry Commission is spearheading an initiative to encourage the use of bamboo in place of wood for construction. Though research shows bamboo is a suitable substitute for timber, little effort has been made to explore its potentials. Now, with dwindling forest reserves, government seeks to encourage cultivation and use of bamboo and raffia. China is already supporting a training program for artisans in that direction. Nanaya Ojima has more in the following report.
Demand for wood in construction and other works increases with population growth amid heightened economic and social activity. Farming, illegal logging and mining, among others, increase the risk of climate change. Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Benito Ousubio, believes knowledge of use of bamboo can help reduce pressure on timber.
There are over 1,500 usage of bamboo, and out of that includes the use of furniture and every usage that timber can be used for. In construction, talk about even to the extent that it's even used in replacement for PVC pipes in China. So that tells us the importance of bamboo. And so we will urge that everybody must get involved.
In China alone, 7.5 million people are employed in the bamboo industry, making the Asian giant the largest bamboo producer, recording a value of $19.5 billion in 2012. To enhance Ghana's potential in the plant, the Chinese government is helping to train local people. Chai Zhenjin is counselor for Economic and Commercial Office of the Chinese Embassy. He reiterated commitment of the Chinese government to assist Ghana leverage potentials of bamboo use.
Our Chinese teachers bring new designs of bamboo furnitures, which will be the graduation works for this year's participants. And I hope that after your 1 month stay here and with hard working, you could also produce good quality furniture.
Meanwhile, the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization has established a center in the Ashanti region as part of efforts to encourage use of the plant. Michael Kweku is country director.
That this year, IMBA is a co-organizer of this training. This is to ensure that the training achieves the required maximum impact. This year, we expect beneficial trainees from Asante Akim South Municipal to this training course to serve as master trainers to the Bamboo Common Production and Training Center being set up at Obogu community by IMBA with the support of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD.
Nana Ojima reporting.
Now, the Deputy Minister for Communications, George Anda, has emphasized the ministry's commitment to creating a safer cyberspace for Ghanaians as the nation embarks on a digitization agenda. According to the Deputy Minister, improving cybersecurity is key on government's agenda to ensure that citizens can operate on digital platforms without being exposed to dangers online. Mr. Anda spoke at the launch of Huawei IP Club that seeks to train and certify IT professionals.
Under the theme Rethinking IP for Digital Economy, The Huawei IP Gala brought together ICT and telecom industry experts and top Huawei executives to discuss latest technology innovations in the world of IT. Deputy Communications Minister George Anders stressed the need to boost cybersecurity measures as the country embarks on a digital transformation.
We need to look at the hygiene factors and making sure that we have the right environment that is secure for the citizenry, for all stakeholders, is extremely important. And that's why we keep on talking about the need for all of us to take cybersecurity seriously, because from the government point of view, if we don't have a robust cybersecurity system in place, our platforms are extremely vulnerable. From the citizens' point of view, if there's not enough awareness about cybersecurity, you have a situation where our kids are on the internet, they are chatting with strangers who did not know, they are making sexual offers to them. And our kids become extremely vulnerable. So from the platform point of view, we need to make sure that we put in place the right measures to have a secure ecosystem so that all the stakeholders can get the benefits of our digitization agenda.
The Huawei IP Gala also saw the launch of the Huawei IP Club. It aims at training and certifying IT professionals. Tommy Zue is the managing director for Huawei Ghana.
Huawei is not a company only for the business, but also take the CSR, the social responsibilities. So also we commit that in the next 3 years, we should train at least 1,000 ICT talents from Ghana. So start from this. I mean, we planned and organized a lot of events, especially on last year, December, we officially launched the Huawei ICT Training Lab in Accra. So based on this lab and the training center, we invite different talents and in different level of the talents. Some is beginners, some is already experienced to attend the trainings. So we wanted them the skills or the ICT levels could be improved. And this one is like the second step for the part of the training. So we should to make propaganda to everybody, to welcome everybody to join the ICT trainings.
For Joy Business, Sheila Tamaklo reporting.
And that's Business Live tonight. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. There you go. We have the latest on the ARB Apex Bank statement on some malicious audios going around. Also, Ghana made Toyota to be ready in August 2020. That's according to the CEO of that company. He's been talking to the president, Akufo-Addo. That's it. myjoyonline.com/business. My name is Darryl Carl. Thanks for watching. We are back same time tomorrow. Do stay.